So good morning to everyone. We have done this. We'll just revise it once again. Okay, so we started with your chapter 6 of your unit 1, and that was your JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. We have done this import JDBC packages in your last lecture. Okay, so I told you that whenever we are going to work with the database and we want to have a database connectivity with your Java application, so it is mandatory, we have to write something into our code which will help me to do the task which I want to do with the database. Now, the very first step will be what? You're importing the JDBC packages, and we know that one package, that is your import java.sql.star, is the important one which you have to mandatorily import in your program, because if you need to use the interfaces and the classes available which is going to help me for my database connectivity, it's all present inside your sql.star. Okay, so this import statement is very important. So if I want to have bigger calculation using some numbers and all, so I can have another package, that is your math.star package. But for database connectivities, nowhere math.star package is required. Okay, just clear with this that we don't require math.star for the database connectivity. There is only one package which will help me to do that. Fine. Then next one is going to be what? Your registration. So as I told you, we have numbers of databases available currently into the market, and almost everybody is having their JDBC driver for connecting with the Java application. So basically what we have to do in this step, we just have to make our program understand that which JDBC driver of which database we are actually trying to connect to. Okay, so that we have to call in our program, and by doing that, what will happen? Your Java program or a servlet code is going to understand that which JDBC driver you are trying to connect to. Okay, so I told you that there will be a defined JDBC driver of every databases are available already. You don't have to make any changes in the JDBC drivers of any databases. They're all defined. You just have to use it. Okay, so for using the JDBC driver or for calling the JDBC driver in your program, there will be two approaches available. Fine. So approach one, we have seen these two approaches in the last lecture. I'll just revise it once again. Okay. So this was your approach one, where we were having a method called class.forName method. This forName method is going to help me to call the JDBC driver as one of the parameter in the method. Okay, so if you can see over here, what is going to happen? It is going to have this method, that is class.forName, and we are going to have a parameter where I am going to call one JDBC driver, that is the driver of your Oracle database. Fine. So you have other database JDBC drivers also. You have MySQL, you can have Sybase, you can have DB2, you can have MySQL Server. So many more you have. Whichever database you are trying to connect to, you have to have the specific and respective JDBC driver for that. Okay. So here I am just assuming that I'm going to use the Oracle database. So what I am doing is the defined JDBC driver of Oracle database. I'm going to take it and I'm just going to mention it over here, so that your servlet code is going to understand that the programmer wants to use the Oracle database. I mean, the programmer is actually using the Oracle database, and it is having the JDBC driver, and the driver name is Oracle driver. Okay, so this is approach one which we can use it, and we are going to use this approach in future in the practicals also. You have the another approach two, that is your driver manager dot register driver. I told you in the last lecture that in these two approaches we have some differences. In approach one, we are assuming that our driver manager is, which is nothing but a list of drivers, which is consisting of list of JDBC drivers already registered into it. Okay, so we don't need to re-register it again, we just have to call it from the list. Fine. So if you remember the diagram where we had that Java application which was connecting to your JDBC API, which was a neutral API, and then that API was used to connect to a JDBC driver manager. Fine. And that JDBC driver manager is getting the information from different databases. And how it was possible? Because everybody is having the JDBC driver. Okay, so basically what happens over there, so when we talk about the third, the third level, that is a driver manager, JDBC driver manager. So there we think and we will consider that all the JDBC driver from the different databases are already registered into that. It's already listed into the driver manager. We don't have to re-register it. We will be just calling it once and then we'll be using it in our program. Okay, and that we can identify, and that we can think about when we are using the approach one. So there we are just calling the JDBC driver into that class dot for name method. We are not assuming that it's not listed and we have to list it and then we have to reuse it. Okay, so now in approach 2 we'll have a second option. We will be having the assumption saying that the driver manager, which is consisting of list of JDBC driver, is right now not having the one which I am looking for, the JDBC driver. So I want to first, what I have to list it, I have to register it, I have to put it into the the driver manager list, and then I can use it. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to simply use a class called driver class, which will help me to have this approach. Then I'll have one object for the driver class, and I'm going to do what the JDBC driver which I'm considering is not in the list, I'll be just calling over here. So what will happen, it will be going to get stored into the object of my driver class. Now simply what I have to do after that, just the driver manager class dot register driver. Okay, so what will happen, now the my driver object, which is holding one JDBC driver of Oracle, is been now registered into one of the driver managers list. Okay, and we can simply use this Oracle JDBC driver to connect my database. So these two approaches you have, and I'll tell you that we are going to use the first approach because maximum time when you'll go with the NetBeans platform to do your practicals, there you can have number of registered drivers already. So you don't have to make it, external, you can say the registration of the JDBC driver. Now, this we had done, we are going to start from here now. So the third step, important one, we know that importing is first, second one will be your registration of your JDBC driver, then third is going to be your database URL formation. Now what is database URL formation? We have imported the required package which will allow me to have number of classes and interfaces from it. We have registered also, we have given the hint to my program that which database I am going to use now. After giving that hint which database, now I have to give the credentials and the URL format of that database. Okay, so in third step what is going to happen is going to happen the actual connection to the database. Now I am trying to have the connection, building the connection with the database. So this is an important step. So if this step is not working properly in your program, that means the whole concept of database connectivity is not going to happen. Okay, so this is important because whatever thing you are going to mention it over here in this particular step is going to be taken by your servlet program as well as by your database. And if it is not having the proper information given for connection, then the connection will not happen. Fine. Now for making the connection, what option you have? You have one method called get connection method. This we have also seen when I have given you that all the steps of database connectivity in a brief. So that time I told you I have a method called get connection method, and I had the specific class that was a connection class which is consisting of this get connection method. Okay, similarly, what we are going to do it over here is we have three ways to use the get connection method. Okay, so first way is what? Get connection, you'll have only one parameter where you are going to have the only URL. Now what URL, how to write that URL, what the URL is going to consist of, we are going to see that. So we'll just first understand the syntax. Okay, so now the very first option which you have to have that connection with the database, that is what? Using the get connection method. You don't have any other method to have the connection. So you have to remember, and it's very easy because there is only one method for the connection we have, that is your get connection method. Now when we talk about the first syntax, we have only one parameter where I'm going to pass only one URL. Okay, then we had the second way where I am going to have a get connection method, and I'm going to have two parameters, that is one will be your URL and the another is going to be the properties. Okay, like your string is like defined thing in your Java. Similarly, your properties is also going to be a defined thing. This is a class which is present in your Java. Why it is been used, I'll let you know. Okay. So what two parameters we have? One is I am going to pass the URL and one is going to be the properties. Third way is what? Get connection. Then we are going to have again the URL. We are going to have a username and we are going to have a password. So one thing which is going to be common in all the three is URL. Now, what do you mean by URL? I'll just give you this table. Okay, so if you remember in one of the lecture I have shown you that what is JDBC drivers are, how we have to write it. So if you remember just in one or two slides, before I have told you that how the class dot for name is calling the JDBC driver of Oracle. So is that was the driver which we have called it? Yes, it was the one which we have called it as a JDBC driver of the Oracle. Okay, I'll tell you that we are going to use a MySQL as a database in your practicals. So you are not going to use the Oracle JDBC driver, but which JDBC driver you have to write in your program. So whenever we are going to have that step, we'll import the SQL dot star. Then we'll create our class, that is a class ABC. After that, the very first step comes is your registration of a JDBC driver. So when the registration, we know that we want to use a MySQL. So what is going to happen there? Class dot for name, and inside the parameters, I'm going to write this JDBC driver name. So that is what com.mysql.jdbc.driver, which will hint the program that I'm going to use MySQL as a database. Okay. Now, the second next step is what? We have completed three steps. So we are into the fourth step, that is your database URL formation, fine, where I'm going to have the main connection to my database. So for that connection, we have done the registration already. Now what we have to do, we have to call the URL and the information of the database in my program. What type of information I have to give into the parameter? If you remember, the very first is asking what? Only the URL. Second is asking about URL and properties. Third is asking for URL, username and password. Now, when I come back to this point, when I come back to this slide, what is going to happen? First is been asked what? String URL. That is your first option available with your get connection method. So simply what has been expected, that you are going to have only simply the URL format. This you have to write as it is. You are going to write JDBC colon MySQL colon. Now what is going to be your host name is going to be your local host. Okay, where you are going to actually connect to. After that, you're going to write the certain things which has been asked, like your database name. So for example, in MySQL, I have created a database called as Sujata. So what is going to be my database name? Sujata. Okay. And if I have given any kind of credentials, okay, so that time you have to change your using the, format of methods. So first thing, first method is asking only the URL. So if you don't have any credentials of your database, that means your database is open to have the access. Okay, so you can use this kind of format, fine. So this is like JDBC driver names for each database I have given. For URL format I have given this syntax. So we'll see one all the three methods of using that get connection method one by one. So very first thing what we are going to do is we'll simply go to that third one, where we had a three parameters. So first method, get connection method, had only one parameter. Second get connection method is having two parameters, and third get connection method was having three parameters. Okay, so now I'll directly switch to the third one because that we are going to use it in our practical. Okay, so what third method was having the syntax get connection, string URL, username and password. Okay, now here in this example, I am assuming that I am using Oracle as my database. Okay. And that Oracle database is running on a host name called as AMRoot. Also, it is listening to the port called 1521. So how we are going to write it? So if you'll see the syntax of that, first of all, what is the syntax? JDBC Oracle thin at the rate. Till here it is going to be same. There is no going to be change at all in this things. Okay, this JDBC Oracle thin at the rate. What is going to change? Your host name. I told you what host name we are using it, AMRoot. So what is going to be host name? AMRoot. I told you which port it is listening, that is 1521. So I'm going to write the port number over here. Then I am going to write what database name. So for example, database which I have created named as Sujata. So I'm going to write as database name as Sujata. Okay, so this is how you're going to use this URL format. Fine. Now, is this the same one? JDBC Oracle Thin at the rate. You have a host name as AM root. Then I'm going to have 1521. That's your port number, and then we have a database number, database name. That is your EMP, but what we have given Sujata. Okay, so that will complete your database URL. Now, we have just completed one part of your third type of method. What is been asked into that third type? We had a get connection method. We had first parameter as URL, second parameter as username, and third parameter as your password. So we have just completed your first parameter where we have given the URL format. Okay. Now, just we'll have the username and password now. So what we are going to do over here, we are just going to create an URL. We are just going to have a variable over here. Okay. There I'm going to store the URL format what we have created. Then we are going to have what username. So what username I am giving, this is the username of your database. So if you are getting confused into this, what I can do is I'll just simply write ABC. So what is been considered, what is the username of your database? ABC. Now students, one thing you have to understand over here, how your username is going to be decided of your database. Whenever you are going to install your database, okay, by default it keeps you root as your database name. It will just ask you about the password, and there you have option to change the username. And generally most of the time, maximum time, the installation, while doing the installation, we never change the username. So what happened, by default you have to have the root in all the programs whenever you are going to use it. Okay, so the root is going to be by default name. If you had changed while installation of your database from root to some other name, that name you have to give it over here. Okay, and the password which you have set it for your database, that you have to give it over here. So using these credentials your database is going to connect to. Okay, this is one option where we can have the different variables and we can store the values into it. And always remember, we are going to use the get connection method, and this get connection method is going to come from which class? That is your connection class. Okay, so we have imported the sql.star. We have registered that is by using class.forName and calling the jdbc driver path into the parameter. Third step is what? Using the connection class. Okay, so whenever we are going to use a connection class, this is going to be the format to use it. So how we are going to write connection, the object name, you can give anything object name over here. So connection, the object name equals to what we are doing over here, considering that the JDBC driver, what we have registered inside the class.forName is listed already in my driver manager. Okay, so that's why what we are saying, that call from the driver manager that JDBC driver to which I want to connect to by using the method called as get connection method, using the three parameters which I am going to pass to it. Okay, so which formats and which parameters I am passing? First of all, the URL. Now what change you can do over here, if you don't want to write these three sentence, what you can do is, instead of URL writing this variable, and simply write the whole URL over here. Okay, I hope I'm clear with this. If you don't want to create the variables, if you don't want to increase this line of code, what you can do is, inside these parameters, what you can write the URL instead of URL variable, where I have put it this whole JDBC URL format. Simply you can call the whole format over here, whole URL over here. So what you will write instead of URL? JDBC Oracle Thin at the rate AM root colon 1521 colon EMP, that is your database name, comma. Okay, then you don't have to use a variable called it is like what we have done it over here. Simply what you can write the username directly. So what is going to happen now? What is the username I have given over here? Username, so for example I'm considering ABC as my username. Okay, or as I told you, by default it is always going to be root whenever, if you are not going to change the name of the user while installation. Okay, so what is going to happen now over here? Suppose I am having the username as root, so what I'm going to write it over here? Root in inverted commas. Then whatever password I have given, so for example I have given xyz123, So what password I'm going to write it over here, XYZ123. So this is going to be much more easier because we are going to do in this way only. We are not going to have this line of codes because it is just increasing the coding statement. So we'll ignore and will not use this. What we are going to do is, after registration, that is your class dot for name statement, we are going to use directly the connection class. Like this way we are going to have a connection, the object, we are going to use the driver manager where we am going to I'm going to check whether the JDBC driver which I am trying to connect to is listed in this or not. And if it is listed, then it is going to have the connection using the get connection method, and we have to pass some information for the connection class to connect to have the connection with database. That is going to be the URL format, that is going to be your password and username. Okay, so this is like one way we have to have the connection with the database. Now second approach what we are going to learn, the one which is having only one parameter. So if you remember, we had three ways to do that. The first way is having only one parameter, that is your URL. Okay, the second one is going to be what, you had two parameters, that is going to be your URL and the properties. Third is going to be what, it's your URL, username and password. Okay, so we have learned the third way over here. What we are going to do now, we are going to learn the first way. Okay, that is just asking you what, a URL. Okay, there's one person that's name is Redmi. I think I should know what who is exactly is. Is any student?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you rename yourself, beta? Because if you want the attendance, because we have to rename it. Now, I just continue with this. We have a second option that we are going to have only the string URL. Okay. So now that URL also is having some different slide format, because we are just considering that we are going to have a database along with the username and password. So how we are going to write it? Again, JDBC Oracle. Okay. Then you are going to have what? A thin driver, that means which is there already in your the syntax what you have to follow it. So JDBC Oracle thin, what you have to write, your username and password at the rate what you're going to have. Okay, that student, the name called as Redmi, can you please mute yourself? Okay, so now we have JDBC Oracle, we are going to have a thin driver. And what is the format of writing when we are going to have only single URL? That is going to be your username and password. So for example, username which I have given as root slash what password we have given, XYZ123 at the rate, this is going to be your host name, this is going to be your port number, and this is going to be your database. So in one single format we have everything what we have done it in the previous example. Okay, so this also we can go ahead with this format. Now the last approach which is remaining, that is what your second one, that is database URL and your properties. Okay, now what property class is going to have, is going to have some object which is holding a key value pair, and it is going to use to pass the JDBC driver properties. Okay, so now here what I was telling you, that we are going to have a properties class. Okay, so where I'm going to have a set of key value pairs. So if you remember, we had one thing that is your the variable, and we used to have the values for it. So I'm just going to show the example for that. See over here what we had, that's your URL. Okay, and where we're having the same thing what we have done it for your first part, that is JDBC Oracle thin at the rate your host name, port number, and your database name. What next we are going to have? We are going to have the key value pair. So if I'll say this example, okay, so here this user is going to be is what your, it's going to be your variable, and the value which you are going to store it, that is going to be your value for that variable. So now here if I'll say that user is a variable, so what value you're going to have, say for example root, which is having by default. So if I have a variable called password, if you'll have a password called XYZ123, so that you can store it into your password variable. So this is also one way you can have what you can do, you can use a properties class. Okay, and into that object you can store the username and the password, and just call that object into your parameter of your get connection method. So this is one way. We are not going to use this one. Either we can use the first one and the second one. The only thing which you have to remember here is we are going to have a properties class with which we are going to have an object for that. And using the object, we are going to just invoke one method, which is a method of this properties class. That is your put method, which is going to take two parameters. One is your key and one is your value, or we can say one is your variable and one is the value of that variable. So variable name you can give anything. The value you have to give which you have given for your database. Okay, so username is going to be what? Root, if I'm considering that by default the name of the database is root, and the password whichever I have given to it. Fine. So this is like last option which we have, and the three ways are available to use for connectivity. You can use any of this. Now then comes your closing the JDBC connections. So whenever we are going to have the JDBC program and we are going to end with it, that means if we are ending the JDBC connection steps, always have a habit to close the connection, because if you remember we have done it in SY also in your file input output stream chapter, where we used to close all the classes which we have created. So it will help me to uh, help me to have that garbage collection. So what basically we are doing, we are not depending on the automatic garbage collection, even though it happens, but it will be a good programming practice if we do it manually and if we do it as a developer in a program. So just use the close method. So what was your object of your connection class? That was CONN. So what simply we have to do? Con dot close method. So it will automatically destroy your things. It will have the garbage collection through your program. You will not dependent on your JVM or to happen by its own. So this is like one good habit. You can have it, you're closing the JDBC connection using your close method. So this was all about your fourth step, that was your database URL formation. Okay, we'll just revise it. That was first step was importing the SQL package. Second was your registration of your JDBC driver, that by using your class.forName method, where we used to call the driver name JDBC driver name. Then we had third step as your database or database URL formation. Okay, so that we can do with the help of connection class. And in the connection class, we have to have the URL format. Okay, always remember JDBC driver name is different and the JDBC URL is different. Okay, in JDBC URL, we have to give number of information like your host name, which port you are using it. There also you have to understand, students, whenever we are going to do a practical. Okay, so I have shown you that how to create the web application. So when we create the web application, okay, one port has been allocated to your web application, one port number through which it is going to communicate to your server and to your database. Okay, so if at all I am trying to create the another application, okay, without closing your NetBeans and without closing your platform, if I'm just continuing creating your next application, what will happen if you try to have the same port number for the next application database connectivity? It will give you an error that it has been already allocated. So that means your first application using that port number. So now what you have to do is basically you have to check that which port is being allocated and which ports are free, that I can use it with my database connectivity for my second application. Okay, so that all thing I'll explain to you whenever we are going to do the practical, because just any information I can give it to you right now, but how to see that you can have the IP config option in your command prompt, through which you can check which port numbers are free and allocated. Okay, so this is all options are available. We will do it in our practical, so don't worry about it, that whatever I am speaking that it just theoretically is there. No, it's not like that. We are going to do everything practically. I am teaching the way we are going to do the practicals. Okay, now we have completed the connection. Once we have done the connection, now we are assuming that the connection has done it successfully with our database. So what next option we have? Next class, or we can say the next interface which we have, that is your statement interface. Okay, so now what statement interface is going to help me? Now here, if you want to create any type of new thing into your database, suppose create statement, you want to use it. If you want to use any type of alter statement, if you want to use any type of update statement, delete statement, drop statement, which is the statements or the, you can say, queries of your database language. So if you wanted to use all these things, okay, so what you can do is you can simply do with the help of your servlet code. So once you have created your database and inside that you have created your table, you don't have to do anything manually into your database. Everything should happen dynamically. Okay, and that dynamically should happen. For that need we have to code into our program. Okay, and we are not going to fire any query directly to my database. Otherwise what will happen, your application is not directly communicating with your database. So what is going to happen, the client or the developer is connecting with database, and the application is not doing that. So what we have to do, we have to make the application to connect to the database. Okay, so for that what we have to do, we have to write some SQL queries into our Java servlet program. How we are going to do that? If I want to have the DDL, that is data definition language queries, okay, which is consisting of creation of the table, creation of the database, or we can say alteration, updation of the table, that all we can do with the help of one interface available in your sql.star package, that is your statement. Okay, so now what is the syntax for that, first we will see, and then I'll let you know one by one all the other things. So we have statement class over here. So this is your defined one, so we are going to have an object for that. So you can skip again one sentence over here. So here I have initialized it to null. What you can do is directly you can write this statement above. Okay, so what we are going to have, a statement class, we have an object for that, equals to what we are going to write, con dot create statement. Okay, so now this CONN is what, it's an object of your previous class, that was your connection class. Okay, and we are using that object to invoke one of the method which is present inside your statement interface. Okay, and what was the method name, that is your create statement method. So what this create statement is going to help me, all the type of DDL queries, like maybe it is your creation, alteration, updation, viewing, whatever you want to do it, you can do with the help of this statement interface. Okay, and this is going to help me to have the static queries. Now here if you'll see, we have a three types of interfaces. First, I told you that it is going to be a statement interface whose syntax I have just shown you. Okay, now what is statement is meant for having these static SQL statements. What type of static SQL statements you will have? Say for example, I want to have a creation of one table. Okay, or I can have, for example, creation of new column into the existing table. I can do with the help of statement interface. That means I am not going to have any runtime values from my client interface to my database. That means I am manually putting some value using the servlet program into my database. So for example, I am using insert statement. So I'll just simply set insert one more row into my existing table. And I'm giving the whole values also for that, particular rows and for the particular columns. So what is happening? I am defining the values through my servlet. Say for example, insert into ABC values. ABC will be your table. So insert into ABC values, and inside the parameter I am considering that I have roll number and name. So I am just also mentioning, instead of roll number, say for example 1, and name XYZ. So what I am doing is, I am not taking values directly from the client at the runtime. What I am doing is, I am passing the values statistically into my database, that is manually to my database. Okay, so for that need you have to use the statement interface. Now if you wanted to do it reverse, I don't want to have a static SQL statements or a static value, or the values which is not coming from the client interface at runtime dynamically. It is just coming through the servlet program. As a developer, I'm sending it to my database. I don't want to do that. What I want is, if I have a registration page, the data with the fields which is going to be filled by the client, all the information should get it stored into my database directly. Okay, so that means what is happening, all the informations are coming dynamically from your client side. So that in that options you have using your prepared statement class. Okay, so this prepared statement class is going to help you to take n number of inputs from your clients and get it stored into your database. So there the servlet program is only going to have a query which is going to have the dynamic statements, which is going to take a dynamic inputs. Okay, third type of interface is something known as callable statement. Okay, so here in this callable statement, what is going to happen, you are going to have this type of interface to use the data which is already existing into your database. That means you are only fetching the value, or you are just accessing the value which is already there in your database. You are not changing anything. Okay, something like your stored procedures and the functions. That means it is something, the data which is already there in the database. I'm just firing the select query to get the response from the database. Okay, so this is the three statements. I hope you should clear with the differences. The first difference is just used for the static SQL statements, where I am using the direct manual entries of the data into my database using servlet code. Prepared statement will allow me to have the dynamic inputs. That means I am not going to write any static statements, SQL statements, where I'm trying to have the manual inputs to my database. It will directly come from the client, directly getting stored into the database. That's it. Then third is what your callable statement, using or accessing the existing data from the databases. That means it will help me to fetch the value from the database. Okay, so these three types of interfaces we have. We'll see one by one all. Most probably we are just going to complete your first type, that is your statement. We'll have one program also for that net. Okay, so now here which class or which interface we are using it, statement interface. I told you that why we are using it, we are using for having the SQL static statements. Okay, now why we are using this statement interface, first having the database connectivity steps. In exam also you're going to have this question, explain the database connectivity steps. So you have to go one by one to all the steps what you are learning right now. So first step is going to be importing SQL package, second step is going to be your having the registration of your database driver, and then third step is going to be your connection class, that is your database URL formation. All the three methods, how we are going to use it, how we are going to form the URL format. Then why we are using this statement interface, because we are going to have the option to have the SQL statements. We can pass the SQL statements to my database. Fine, so this is how you're going to explain the database connectivity steps. And even in the statement interface we have three types of statement interface. So now the first statement interface, just I told you, that is going to be used for the static SQL queries. Okay, now we'll see an example for this. First step, what I told you, that is going to be an import statement. We have done it successfully. Now what we are going to do, we are going to have a class, that is a user defined class, and the example was your class name. Then we had a main method. I hope everyone remember that what is the main method of your Java, that is your public static void main string args, and we can throw the exception, whatever exception we are going to have. It is going to give me the exception from this exception class. So we are not mentioning the specific exception name over here. Simply what we can write, throws exception. So this is a root class, you can say exception class, and numbers of exceptions are present inside it. So whatever exception, if it is getting or making the exception from this program, is going to throw with the help of this class. Now the very first thing, what we have said, after creating the import statement, what we are going to do it next, we are going to have the registration. Here the class C is going to be capital. Okay, it is small here, it's wrong, it is going to be capital class or capital C of that class word. So what is a step? Class dot for name. That is a method we have to use for registering our JDBC driver. And I told you which database I am going to use for the practicals. That is of MySQL. Okay. So what we have to do? We have to pass the JDBC driver pass over here as a parameter in this method. So what is the path name? com.mysql.jdbc.driver. So you have successfully registered your JDBC driver of MySQL database. Okay, this is a print statement, no need of writing. Okay, nothing is going to happen with this, just going to show you the information that you have successfully loaded your driver. If you not write it, then also it is not going to have any effect on it. Now the next very important step that we have studied today is your connection class. Okay, so where I've told you that we are going to use this class because we want to have one method that is nothing but your get connection method. we have also studied all the three ways that how we can use a get connection method, right? So now what is the syntax for that? We are going to have a class name, that is your connection class. We are going to have an object name over here. What is an object name we have given? con. Then we are going to have equals to the driver manager. We have to call this driver manager because all the JDBC drivers are being listed over here. Okay, so after that, whenever you're going to make a connection, it should be, make the hint to your program that which JDBC driver you have registered and you are going to use it. So we have to call the JDBC driver from this driver manager to which I want to get connected to using which method? Get connection method. And inside this get connection method, I have to give the information about my database. Okay, so now here what type of information I want to give? If you remember the URL format of MySQL, what was the syntax for that? URL format says that we are going to have the JDBC, then we are going to have a MySQL, which will indicate that it is having the JDBC driver, and the database is what is your MySQL. Then we had a host name. What is a host name we have given over here? That is a local host. What is the port number given over here? 3306 slash, what is the database name we have? emp slash underscore record. And I told you that we are going to use the third option where we had a three parameters. We had a URL, we had a username, and we had a password. Okay, I told you username is going to be by default for every database if you're getting installation, and if you're not changing the username, it is going to be what? Root. Okay, so assuming that we have not changed it, so what is going to be the username? Root. Now, why I have kept it blank, the password? Because I have not assigned any password to my database. So that means it is open to access. Okay, but it is not a good habit. What we can do is we can assign the password to our database. So what is going to be the database name over here? XYZ123, which we have decided. Fine. Now your connection class knows it properly that what it has to do now. It has to go to the driver manager to understand which JDBC driver is been registered for this program. After getting that option or information, it will use the get connection method, and in get connection method it will use number of information, that it will have the information saying that it is going to use MySQL as a database, using the local host as a host name, using this port number, using this database name, that is emp underscore record. Then it is going to have a root as a username for that database, and there is no password. But if we'll give a password, say XYZ123, so that is going to be the credential of your database, because you can have numbers of databases to be created in your MySQL, and you can have credentials for each database what you are going to create it. Okay, so based on the credentials, your connection class is going to understand which database it has to connect to. Okay, next is what your statement class, what we have studied next to today. Okay, so that was your statement where I am going to create an object. Always remember, whenever you are going to create a new class, you're going to use the previous class object to invoke the methods of that class. So if I am having the connection object as con, what I'm going to do is immediately in the next class, that is your statement class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create its object first, and I'm going to use a previous class object, that is what? con, that is your connection class object, to invoke one of the method of your statement class, that is what? Your create statement method. Okay, so this create statement method, now I have not passed any parameters over here. So what I am saying to this program, that I don't want to have any type of static SQL queries right now for my program. It is going to be blank. Fine, I have to use this statement because it is going to use the object in your next type of class which has been required for execution. Okay, so now here what I'm doing, I'm just simply using the create statement method without any parameters, saying that I don't want to pass any static SQL queries, so it is going to be blank. I don't want to make any changes into my database or my table, so it is going to be blank. Now, the very important thing which is going to come to the next is result set class. Okay, we are going to learn in detail also in the previous slides in the next lecture, but here just understand this is the last step which you are going to follow in your database connectivity. So first is your SQL, second is your class.forName, third is your connection class, fourth is your statement class, and fifth will be your result set class. So again, I'm going to create an object for that. What is going to happen? Again, I'm going to use the object of your previous class. So here in statement, I have used your previous class object, that is your connection class object. And here what I'm going to use, I'm going to use a statement class object, that is what your st, and I'm going to invoke a method called as what, execute query. So what I am what I am expecting from this class is, this class is responsible to execute, to fetch the response from the database. Okay, so always remember, you are going to, maximum of the time you're going to have a select query in this result set class. So this result set class is responsible to get the response from your database and give it to the client. Okay, so statement class is responsible to have the number of, execution, or you can say creation, insertion of the values, you can have the updation, modifying of the data, alteration, deletion, dropping, all this comes under your statement class. So currently I don't want to do that all part in this, I just want to keep it simple, I don't want to make any type of changes into my table. So I'm keeping it as what, blank. If I want to make some insertion, or I can just want to make some, have to have the new row in my program or in my table, what I can do, I can have an insert statement into this, which will change the number of rows into my database from here. Okay, so right now we have not done anything like that. So simply what we can do, we can have a simple response, we just want one response from our table. So what we are going to do, we are going to have a method called execute query, which is going to execute the query, which is I am going to pass as a parameter to this method. So what parameter or what line we are passing over here, what statement we are giving, SQL statement, that is select star from training. So but obvious, training is nothing but is what, your table. So what is happening now here? I am using my SQL database, giving all the information to your program, saying that my SQL database, I am using it with this local host, with this port number, and the database name is emp underscore record with these credentials. And from that database, I am having one table, call it as what, training. So what I want is, I just wanted to see the whole response or the whole table, and using that select query. But obviously we know that using this particular statement, what is going to happen, the whole table in the form of rows and columns is going to be shown to me. Okay, so I am just writing this query so that it is going to be executed using your result set class. Okay, now I want to show it to my client, the whole table which I'm going to access, and I'm going to fetch it from your database. I wanted to show to my client. So if you remember, I have shown you in one of the servlet program, or the servlet program example, that whenever I'm going to have a response, I have to be very much specific that in which format I'm going to show the response to my client. So we used to have that one method, that is a set content type method, which will help me to have the parameter where I'm going to mention that I want the show information in the form of text format using the HTML web pages. Okay, so here what I am going to do is, I am just wanted to show the table to my client. So no thing is going to come automatically, no table is going to generate automatically in your web page. Okay, you have just said that select star from training, that means what is going to happen, your data is going to be fetched from the database, but fetching from there and showing into the table format, the task is not going to happen automatically, so we have to design it. So what I am doing it over here is, I am just considering that I am going to have 4 columns in my training table, that is going to be a roll number, student name, stream, and percentage. So what I am doing, I'm just simply printing these values in my web page. Okay, so it is going to come like your table. Fine, so roll number, giving space, another value, another space, another column name. So this way I'm going to just have my design of the column for my web page. Next statement is just going to have one line after the column names which you have given. Most important thing, that how your data is going to get fetched from your database. We have fired query called select query to the database, and we expect that it is going to execute using your execute query method to the database. Database will understand, okay, the servlet code wants to execute this select statement into this particular database, fetching data from there and putting into your web page into the form of roll number, student, stream, percentage, what I have designed. How you're going to do it, how the data is going to be taken from your database and given to this particular table, what we are showing it to the client. Now we have a method called next method. So we have a condition over here, while. Inside the while condition, what I am saying, I'm using the object of your result set, because ultimately your select query has been fired over here. Okay, so rs.next. So what is happening over here, Whenever this query is going to get executed, your condition, while condition is going row by row in your table, in your database. So it is going to visit to your first row. Okay, it will consider the first row, fetching the value from the first row. How it is going to fetch the value from the first row? Where I am mentioning that rs dot get int first column. So this one is specifying is what? First column. Get the values from the first column using which method? Get int method. Why get int method? Because I have a first column as what? Your roll number. So it is going to use a integer value. Okay, so this is all your specific methods available inside your result set class to fetch the values in the form of numbers or in the form of strings. Similarly, I am going to give a space because I have a space over here. Next is what? Your student name. So it is going to take which type of value? String type of value, and that is from which column? That is your second column. Then third is going to be stream. Again, it is going to be a string type of value, third column. This is going to be a float type of value, that is your percentage, that is from your fourth column. And this statement is going to get executed. It is going to print your column values one by one. And how it is going to print? With the using this kind of condition. So using next method, it is going to visit your first row, fetching the values in this format, putting the values into the web page. Again, the condition is going to get executed. Okay, again the value is going to be fetched, that is a second row. Again the values is been displayed. Again condition is going to, and it is going to execute till the time it is not going to get an empty row. Okay, so this is how your database is going to, you know, take the value from the client. Also it is going to fetch the response for the client. So I told you Java is something where you have to even say a simple normal thing to your program, that what it has to do. Your servlet, your Java is not at all going to take anything automatic. It's everything you have to code it. Okay, from which column, from which format, everything you have to mention it. So this is like one basic structure you can have for your database connectivity. I just hope that you have understood something, not expecting everything, but at least something. So that's why I'm just going very slowly in this chapter, because I want to make you understand this database connectivity properly, so that, because this whole thing you are going to do it in your practical. In every practical you have database connectivity. So you have to at least remember the 5 steps of database connectivity, then only you will be able to do this chapter. And this chapter is very important as per your first unit. Okay, so here now I hope that you have understood till now what we have studied. I'm just stopping the lecture right now because we have already exceeded the time. Okay, I'll just stop sharing this. If you have any doubt, students, you can just ask me. We'll be continuing in the next lecture. Okay,